What's up everyone, John from ARTV. Sorry I'm about a month late with this one, but it's time for a review of 2014 Forest Hill Drives from rapper J. Cole, from my state, North Carolina. I was going to review this sooner. Well, I thought about it. I was like, am I going to do it? Am I going to not? And then holidays came, and I was eating, and I was drinking, and I was not reviewing, and I'm sorry for that. My friend Emily got me back on track. She was like, you need to hear this album. You need to review it. So here we go. 2014 Forest Hill Drive. I know I don't cover a ton of hip-hop and rap on this channel, but I'm looking to expand that in the next year to keep infusing more and more genres, so let's go ahead and dig into this one. I think that J. Cole is a pretty talented guy. I've heard some of his stuff in the past, never a full-length record, but some of the singles like Power Trip and Workout, and even Mr. Nice Watch off of that debut album featured Jay-Z, and of course he's signed to Jay-Z's imprint, Roc Nation, so I was interested, but I had just never gotten around to it. There's so many artists out there that sometimes you frankly just don't find the time. I'm really glad that I checked out this record though. There's a lot to be said for what J. Cole did. He made a statement with this album. He went back to the basics. There was no complex beats that were super grimy and in your face because they didn't need to be to grab your attention. He's doing what hip-hop, R&B, and just rap music in general can do. He proves that it still can do that. Storytelling. We actually get to dig into some of the life events that have happened to Mr. Jermaine Cole, and he's from Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's only about 2 hours from me. I actually had planned to drive out there and film my review in front of that house, but weather issues and of course me not wanting to spend the money on gas were also a factor. Sorry I wasn't able to make that happen, but you guys understand, right? I'm enjoying the laid-back feel of this record. It's really been appropriate lately. I've just been kind of mellowing out, relaxing with it. There's a few of your more upbeat tracks, I guess, ones that get a little bit more aggressive and in your face. January 28th gets like that in some moments, and of course G.O.M.D, aka Get Off My Dick. That's another one that definitely has a more abrasive chorus to it, kind of calls some people out, sees Jermaine getting a little bit more active with his voice. Not that some of these tracks feel stale, it's just that he definitely kind of goes and rides the beat. Everything feels very smooth, like he's kind of sailing out there in this ocean, and from time to time we kind of catch a wave and get a little bit more anger out of him. Some of my favorites are the ones that just kind of mix a really hooky beat, but at the same time it's very simple and laid back. The most prime example I can think of is A Tale of Two Cities. That one just has a beat that gets stuck in my head all the time. It's just kind of a da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. It's for some reason always looping in the back of my head. I like how personal this album gets, and like I said, it definitely tells some stories from his life growing up at 2014 Forest Hills Drive. I think that's why I like this so much, is because it's like, hey, we're getting into J. Cole's head back when he was in his teens, kind of growing up with a lot of rage inside of him, a lot of neglect for like his mother and his family members, and focusing only on himself, and then looking back on that years later and kind of regretting it. 03 Adolescence is a nice one. It kind of sees him getting into trouble, talking about smashing all these girls in class. He wants to get with this, he wants to get with that. He talks really openly on the track Wet Dreams about his first sexual encounter and about how he was kind of lying to this girl. They were passing notes in class, and he knows damn well that he's a virgin, but he's acting like he's this big pimp that gets all the ladies, and it really comes down to the wire. It's an interesting story. I don't even want to spoil it if you haven't heard it. Wet Dreams definitely one of the top favorites for me, along with A Tale of Two Cities. I think Fire Squad is another one that definitely gets a little bit more of a reaction out of me, just because it's more involved in terms of like J. Cole's presentation here on this track. I think everything in terms of the lyrics, the beat, and just the way he rides the flow. His bars on that track are really solid. I think he's really showing off his skills on that one, shows that he can be much more of a verbal rapper rather than just an atmospheric one that kind of rides a chill beat. He can get a little bit more aggressive, and that shows on Fire Squad. Not to say that some of the slower tracks near the end of this thing don't work though. I think that he definitely can ride a beat on Hello. That's one that I'm seeing that does get a little bit boring in my opinion. Some of these tracks do feel a little bit stale just because the production just is not there to bring these things to life. They kind of need a little bit of an extra kickstart sometime, but he just doesn't have that to the table. I can't necessarily blame that all on him, although he did produce the majority of this thing. So one of the tracks that's being marketed as a single I'm kind of on the fence on. That's a track called Apparently. That's one that definitely does talk about some of the issues that he's had with himself being self-centered over the years and kind of regretting that and wanting to change things and make that right, make things right with his mom. And so I definitely do like it from a lyric lyrical approach. It's just that the presentation, something just feels a little bit off, but it definitely is growing on me. I like the track Love Yours as well as the track No Role Models. That one probably being close to the top for me. No Role Models has really stepped up in my book from the first time I heard it to now. However, tracks like Get Off My Dick and even the intro and of course the closing track, which I can't really say too much about because it's mainly just a bunch of thank yous and I'm not supposed to be in love with it. But the track Get Off My Dick I definitely do have some complaints about. I don't really feel like the chorus was very strong, and while there are no features on this thing, I'm pretty sure that that was someone else doing the more rough vocals during the chorus of that one. They just feel a little bit out of place on this record that was all J. Cole. I feel like I'm not very good at explaining myself when it comes to hip-hop sometimes, and I'm sorry for that. I definitely plan to work on that in the future, but I just wanted you guys to get a quick little review, a snapshot of how I'm feeling about 2014 Forest Hills Drive. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. Definitely a lot of tracks that are going to have a shelf life to them in my opinion. There's a lot of ones that could be potential singles, I feel like, and I like that J. Cole is just presenting himself as an earnest person that doesn't have to have all these guest features or all this crazy production in order to sell records and be successful. It was definitely a big statement on his part, and I'm glad that this album is doing so well for him. If you guys have heard the record, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below, and of course smash that like button to let me know that you enjoyed this review. Subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more of my content. I put out several reviews each week, or at least I try to. And 2015, I'm going to try my best to keep to that New Year's resolution, at least 2 reviews every week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Consider donating to the channel. You can click the top link in the description down below. It helps the videos keep coming. I appreciate all of you guys' support, and I will see you very soon right here on ARTV.